Hey YouTube, continuing with our 1914 game. We just played from the top of round 6 through middle of round 7. So France is up next, and we both realized actually at the beginning of round 6 that we've been playing a semi-important rule wrong. We were both playing on the impression that if you entered a contested territory, like you went to send more units of your own into the contested territory, that you would have to fight. That you couldn't move units in as a reinforcement and not have a combat. So we realized we were doing that wrong. So from now on, we're incorporating that contested reinforcement rule. We also realized we were playing amphibious assaults incorrectly. If you make an amphibious assault and there are artillery in the territory and it is not already contested, it is a completely hostile territory, then the defending artillery get to make a preemptive roll against your units that are offloading, and they get to hit on a 3 or less. They don't get to hit on a 4 or less if you have air supremacy, but they get to hit on a 3 or less before the round of combat occurs. So we did an additional roll for the only times that would have happened were when Italy or France unsuccessfully invaded Libya against the Turks and got nothing. So that didn't matter because they didn't damage any units. But we rolled the artillery that would have been in Spain. We did they did that roll, and they didn't get anything, so nothing was changed from that. But the movement reinforcement thing is a big deal, and that certainly accounted for why Russia fell so quickly, and it also would have changed up the Western Front a bit. But anyway, we're going to continue this game as is and go from there. I don't think it would have been too crazy different, but I think the Eastern Front just would have been slower. I still think Russia would have fallen, but not as fast as they did if that was the case. But maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, so on the Western Front here, big things happened. The first round that I'm talking about, so round 6, Germany did mostly reinforcement moves, and then on round 7 they just went into Lorraine, and I barely held on to it. We had a hell of a dogfight. I think he had six German fighters against my 4 French fighters. They managed to take down 3 of them. So, and then the Brits were able to come over into Picardy right there. But yeah, they have 1 infantry left, so Lorraine is still contested, so I can reinforce Lorraine, and we'll go from there, I suppose. Right now the economy is looking like this, give or take. Russia, as you can see, is off to the side there since they're no longer of significance. Germany built another battleship this last turn, and they've been building a lot of regularly a fighter or 2, and infantry and artillery. I think he also built a sub at one point, and then he's sending stuff into Ruhr and Alsace. So again, all these territories, these 4 territories right here, they're represented here. And I thought maybe we could do without using this at the beginning of the game, because I try to avoid using it, but no, it's not possible with how much stuff he had in Alsace going into Lorraine. The French got a decent amount of infantry, eliminated a decent amount of German infantry, but they're still coming in pretty hard right there. The Brits are in Picardy, so they can just reinforce that, hopefully. We'll see. The Brits in the US are congregating in C-Zone 8 here, as you can see. The Canadians here, or the British units from Canada, they're Canadians, they're still on these transports. So the UK just has to unload them, probably into Picardy, maybe into Brest, but no, they'll probably go into Picardy. And then go from there. US, non-surprisingly, took the rest of Spain. They also brought over a few more units to do that. The France, since Spain is taken, the French infantry in Algeria took Spanish Morocco. And then over here, the French, with the transport that was over in 14, I came over here. I also brought the cruiser that I placed in 15 down to here, bought a sub. But anyway, so the transport came over here, took the 2 French infantry units from Albania, and then did a amphibious assault with this battleship here in Egypt. And then the units I had in the African units I had in Anglo-Egyptian Sudan, they came up as well and they contested it. So these 2 survived, which then allowed the double whammy of the UK to move in here and here, as well as utilizing the French transport from there. So Egypt is secure. Ottoman Empire is in a bit of a panic, but I don't think it's too bad for them right now. He retreated everything from Transjordan to either to attack either Syrian desert, which they liberated, or going into Smyrna here, this territory. And then he placed stuff in here. He's obviously trying to build up fighters to counteract mine. And the Germans that were making their way down, they made their way into Constantinople. So Central Powers have a very decent amount of units in Constantinople to fend off the Brits right now. So we'll see what happens. Brits buying infantry, artillery, and another fighter. Kind of like a clockwork move, more or less. And yeah, so they have control of the Suez Canal right now. And that's not threatened, so if I want, I can bring that battleship back in there, no problem. We'll see if we do that or not. Italy is in rough shape. Italy was doing great at the beginning of the game when Austria had to deal with Russia, but now that Italy has Austria's complete 100% attention, Italy's going to fall. It is by far going to fall. He hasn't been building up that navy yet, but yeah, no, there was a dogfight in Venice here, so we did 2 Austrian turns. There was a dogfight in Venice right here, and against all odds, my Italian fighter actually knocked out his 2 Austrian fighters. But in the normal battle rebuttal, I only eliminated one infantry unit here of Austria. But the fact that I knocked out those 2 fighters is still a big deal. But he's got another one on the way. So we'll see. But Italy, it's looking rough for Italy. France is trying to send over a few people, but this is a way bigger thing to deal with. So this whole game is, oh geez, keep going back and forth as to like which side is looking good. And I was pretty confident earlier, but now not so much. And again, you know, we've been playing that movement rule wrong, so we'll both be playing that correctly next time, obviously, from the get-go. But, you know, we've come this far. We might as well wrap it up and see how it goes. Trying to think of anything else. Oh, yeah, Italy moving. Oh, yeah, Italy also took Libya back with a unit from Albania. Italy also reinforced Egypt with that 1 unit there. And let's see, what else? America reinforced here with those battleships. That's about it. So they built a sub, a transport, more infantry and artillery. That's about it. So we'll pick up again tonight, finish out round 7, and probably complete round 8, and hopefully wrap this game up. I think we'll just have to call it at a certain point because I do have to clear off this table space. But yeah, this game has been a blast. Just seeing how things have panned out. I'm not a competitive player. I really just like to see how things result, how outcomes happen, and just to see how things pan out. You know, I find that very interesting. So, granted, I still find myself cursing at a bad die roll, but you know, gotta relieve a little stress in some way, you know. But yeah, so the Brits, like I said, the Brits reinforced Picardy. They finally got over into France. Jeez, it took them long enough. Belgium is still French held, or Allied controlled. And I'm so happy that that 1 unit survived in Lorraine, because then I can just reinforce it at least, but it's still not looking great right now. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll check in again soon, but I'll be back with an update for you guys sooner or later. And then down here I got the IPCs, planned purchases for Italy, you know. But yeah, I'll check in again. I'm hitting 10 minutes right now, so yeah, stay tuned for another update, and hopefully we'll be wrapping this up sooner or later.